All right, today we're going to dive deep into a single, incredibly raw performance, Fola's Tonight and Bye Bye from his Echo Room session. It's one of those songs that builds an entire world of love and loss in just a few minutes, and we're going to break down exactly how it packs such a powerful emotional punch. So the song kicks off with this really profound line, "This is the life you decide." But what decision is he talking about? Is it the choice to lean in, to connect? Or is it the choice to let go? To figure that out, we first have to look at the setting.
To really get this performance, you have to understand where it was recorded. This isn't some polished studio track. It's a live session from the Echo's room, and that changes everything.
So what is an Echo Room session? Well, it's all about being raw and unfiltered. There are no production tricks, no fancy effects to hide behind. It's just Fola, his instrument, and his pure, unfiltered emotions. This kind of stripped-back, super intimate format makes the performance incredibly direct. You can't ignore it.
The song itself is structured almost like a short play, a story in 2 acts. First, you get the passionate, desperate pull of Tonight, and then, right after, it's countered by the reluctant, painful push of Bye Bye. It's really a story about 2 powerful, opposing forces colliding.
So, let's dive into Act 1. This first half is just completely consumed by this overwhelming desire for connection. It's a plea for just one night.
And really, this one line says it all. I need you tonight. It's not a suggestion, it's not a hope, it's a statement of absolute need. This is the emotional anchor for the entire first half of the song.
And this isn't just some fleeting crush. The lyrics show this deep, almost total commitment. He's singing things like, just name the price and I pay, and offering to be a shoulder to cry on. He's putting it all out there, declaring, I'm not going to be shy. This is way more than just a casual request.
So, the big takeaway from Act 1 is this. He's not just asking for someone's company, he's offering everything. Support, vulnerability, total devotion, and cramming it all into this one single moment. The emotional stakes are just incredibly high.
But that kind of intensity, it just leads to the inevitable question, right? What happens when tonight is over?
And that's what brings us to Act 2, where the entire tone just flips. That plea for connection, it's replaced by the cold, hard finality of having to leave.
Here it is, the big shift, all in one line. We go from I need you to I gotta say bye-bye. And listen to the language there. It moves from desire, what he wants, to obligation. It's not something he wants to do, it's something he feels he has to do.
The whole mood of the performance just transforms. What started as this passionate plea becomes this quiet, somber, almost hypnotic mantra. It's the sound of someone trying to convince themselves that this painful thing is necessary.
And get this, the phrase bye-bye is repeated more than 15 times. That's not just a chorus. It feels more like a ritual, doesn't it? He's saying it over and over again, like he has to make it real, to force himself to accept this incredibly difficult truth.
Okay, so let's bring these 2 halves together, because the real power of this song lives right in that tension, between desperately wanting to stay and knowing you absolutely have to leave.
This really lays out that central conflict perfectly. On one side, you have Tonight, which is all desire, urgency, connection. And on the other, you have Bye Bye, which is all resignation, finality, separation. The genius of the song is that it forces us to live in that heartbreaking space right between the 2.
Which brings us right back to that opening line. This is the life you decide. Hearing it now, it hits different, doesn't it? Is the decision about choosing to have this one perfect night, even if you know it has to end? Or is it about making the hard choice to walk away? The song seems to be saying it's both. So what do we take away from this whole emotional journey? Well, it's that universal feeling of a bittersweet goodbye.
At the end of the day, this performance is so powerful because it captures something we've all felt. That beautiful, intense, maybe even perfect moment that, for whatever reason, is temporary. A moment you just want to live in forever, but you can't.
The real magic here is in embracing that paradox. It actually reminds me of this psychological idea called the peak end rule, which says we tend to remember experiences based on their most intense point, the peak, and how they end. This song is a perfect map of that. You have this intense, beautiful peak with Tonight, and this definitive, painful end with Bye Bye. The power isn't just in the sadness, but in the courage to live that peak moment fully, even when you know the end is already in sight.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. Is a perfect moment more meaningful precisely because it has to end?
Does the fact that it's fleeting actually give it its value? Something to chew on.